You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth! Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. Who's gonna do it? You? You, Lieutenant Weinberg? I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago and you curse the Marines. You have that luxury. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know. That Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives. And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives. You don't want the truth of us, do you? Places you can talk about, parties. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. We use words like honor, code, loyalty. We use these words as the backbone of a life spent defending something. You use them as a punchline. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide, and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I would rather you just said thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you pick up a weapon and stand opposed. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to. Did you order the code red? I did the job. Did you order the code red? You're goddamn right I did!
Was reported missing. Now we'll hear from her again. 11 News reporter Spencer Wilson spoke exclusively with Letecia Stauch a few weeks ago in the only on-camera interview she has done.
There's been a lot of suspicion focused on her from the very start. That's how I was able to speak with her. She wanted to tell her side of the story, and she did.
I am Letecia Stauch, which is Gannon's stepmother.
At the time, the sheriff's office said she was not cooperating with their investigation. She was also the last to see him, and online speculation was running wild.
I'm just ready for Gannon to come home. Most importantly, for him to see his family. But second, I am going to be so ecstatic when I'm able to say to people that I hope they have a really sincere apology for all these theories that have came out online, for all the things they said that I have done.
She was worried about her safety.
The way someone thinks about me, I don't have a problem with that. My main thing is I would never want someone to think that I would hurt Gannon or any of the children in our home, because that's just not the case.
Here's what she said to me the first time I asked her if she had a message for Gannon.
Gannon, when you get here, you'll be able to truly tell what happened. And then I really hope I get a sincere apology from everyone who has made all those things, especially from my husband.
Okay, we're coming up. This is Awkward Occurrence for Awkward Entertainment. So we're coming up on this part, Spencer Wilson mission. So Spencer Wilson mission biggest red flag was when she asked to redo her final statement, talking directly to Gannon. First try, normal composition. Second try, tears and sobbing. Pretty much the definition of putting on the waterworks. So you know what put it on the waterwork means. Like fake crying, duping delight, fake crying. Then this was another post. Let's skim through this. Okay, this is the position of each person in the caravan Letecia was in. So Letecia was in the passenger seat of the little car. Her aunt was driving, daughter in the back seat. There was a young guy who was driving the moving truck. Okay, the moving truck is where everybody claims Gannon body was in with the suitcase. Let's go on. Potential other aunt was riding with the young man. And he says other aunt because he's less clear on who she was. So let's get back to her interview. What she puts on the waterworks, according to Mr. Spencer.
And I stopped the camera.
I wanted to add one more thing.
She asked to say one more.
And he said he stopped the camera. I guess he sort of stopped the camera, but that was a cut. But the camera was still rolling when she said, I want to add something else. And this is what she's going to add. So here comes the waterworks.
Poor thing. So I turned the camera back on and asked her the same question once again. Do you have a message for Gannon? By then, she had started crying.
And Gannon, I can't wait till you can come home and let everyone know that you're okay. We love you.
We're expecting she will be brought to Colorado to face murder.
So Miss Letecia Stauch was arrested. Sometime in March, she was arrested for the murder, abuse, tampering with body. Then she got another charge, which seems like a upgrade first-degree murder charge, which means she has to prove, or the state has to prove, she planned to murder him. So let's go on with this presentation. This is Mr. Spencer's tweets. Let's take it over to Facebook. So we're going to go to Facebook, and we're going to go start from the beginning to end, or it hasn't ended yet. So from past to present to where we are now in this case. And this is the El Paso Sheriff County Facebook page. And it's going to be Gannon related, just the posts they have made from past to present. Kind of like a trip down memory lane to jog our memories from beginning to now. So that was, if I can go back, that was the first day Gannon was reported missing on the El Paso Sheriff's Facebook. But he was reported on the 27th missing, but El Paso put up the post on the 28th on their Facebook. So 28th, last seen 1/27/2020 between 3:15, 4 p.m. at Lawson Ranch. So that's when the video came out of him, well, that came out later, maybe a week later. 6 to 7 days later, the video came out of him getting into the car with Letecia Stauch, Gannon Stauch, getting into the car with Letecia Stauch, and not coming back with him. Now, the Sheriff's Department haven't confirmed if Gannon actually didn't come back. Like, they haven't confirmed that video of Gannon getting into the truck and not coming back. We haven't seen any other angles of that truck coming back. But there could be other angles because there was other houses and other cameras. So let's continue. That's just another post reminding people of Gannon being missing. That was February 29th. January 29th, right there, January 29th. Another post, just a reminder. That was January 30th. They put out another post. Now, in this post, they're talking about misinformation. Now, we haven't seen too much news, too much more news about misinformation being given in this case. They kind of died down on talking about misinformation being given in this case. And at one point in time, they had one of their spokespersons, El Paso Sheriff's Office had a spokesperson come on TV and talk about freedom of speech, sort of talk about freedom of speech. But the spokesperson was touching on the basis that the Sheriff's Department cannot stop people from making videos or talking about the case online. Because if you don't talk about the case online, you're going to talk about the case to a friend on the phone or somewhere else. You're still going to talk about the case and speculate. So there's no point in trying to tell people, well, don't talk about the case. We're still going to talk about it even if it's not online. And people understand that, you know, when the Sheriff's Department releases information, that's what it is. Even though people may speculate. But nobody knew that Gannon was in Florida. So when the police department finally do release information on the case, okay, we know what happened. You know, they may speculate beforehand, but still, when they release information, okay. But you really can't mess with freedom of speech. Either way, people are going to talk about it. Let's continue this timeline. That's the tip line. Okay, that was January 31st, and they're taking application for citizens to do volunteers in the search for Gannon. And you know, they searched Douglas County, and they searched some bodies of water in Colorado. I forget what bodies of water, but that came up blank. But all those searches came up blank, except for a 2x4 in a sock. Which people may link the 2x4 to the blunt instrument Gannon was hit with, that the coroner's office is talking about in their report on Gannon. They say he was hit with a blunt object, he was stabbed, and he was shot. So that blunt object may be the 2x4, but then again, if Letecia picked up the body, why not go pick up the 2x4 in the sock? And why leave any evidence behind? You get what I'm saying? So her excuse for the 2x4 is the 2x4 fell off the truck when she was driving, and the blood came from Gannon having nosebleeds. So let's continue the video. Okay, February 2nd. Let's continue. It's another general post about Gannon. "50 people assisted in the search efforts." That was February 2nd. So this is the update on the efforts of the search on February 3rd. So I believe this is Douglas County and Las Vegas Street. So they searched near Las Vegas Street in Colorado, Lawson Street, the ranch area, Douglas County, and a few bodies of water close to the house. So 2,400 hours of manpower, 1,860 hours of investigation. So February 3rd to February 5th, they suppose Letecia went to Florida and dropped the body off, or had somebody drop the body off. So they're asking people if they've seen Letecia between February 3rd and February 5th. So February 3rd, 4th, and 5th, they were searching still in Colorado, in Douglas County, maybe in the body of waters around Douglas County, because they used some submarine machine to dig in the ice and look in the ice to see if they could find anything in the ice, because it was still winter and the bodies of water was frozen over. So this is about the time they're saying Letecia somehow handed Gannon off or went to Florida and dumped his body. And let's go back to the order of the cars they were in. So if a young man was driving the car, the truck with the body in it, wouldn't he have noticed a smell? I mean, it would just been 3 days from 27th to when she did that interview on the 30th. She supposedly or allegedly left town on January 30th. Gannon went missing on the 27th of January. And they figure he was killed on the 27th, and speculation is his body was in that truck, moving truck with the young man in Letecia Stauch's caravan. So maybe he would have smelled it, because he's not arrested. This young man isn't arrested for anything, not helping out a murder or disposing of a body. This young man was driving that moving van. So the moving van and Gannon being in the back of the moving van in a suitcase doesn't make sense, because the young man who was driving the truck hasn't been arrested, or there's no report he smelled anything. He hasn't gave any interviews to the media, whoever this young man was driving the moving truck. Because Letecia was riding with her aunt and her daughter, we believe, or her daughter and her aunt. So check out Mommy Ramblings Vlog She does true crime. Now she says, or she speculates, the rental truck or rental car Letecia used to drive 955 miles, she may have called up somebody and met them halfway to deliver Gannon's dead body and had them dump the dead body. So you have to divide 955 miles, divided by 2, 400 and some odd miles. 900, 900, 480, 480, 960. Let's just say 475. So you would have to go from Colorado 475 miles, then come back with the rental car 475 miles. That would be a meeting point. But it just seems to me too extreme for you to want to get rid of a body and keep that body. It seems very extreme to want to keep that body for 2-3 days, put it in a moving truck, and meet somebody 400 miles away in a rental car to dispose of the body. Because you have a lot of bodies of water in the area. I mean, just 400-mile radius, you could have found a spot yourself to leave the body. And this is in Letecia's defense. Because you go back to my other videos, I'm in Letecia's defense. And it is innocent until proven guilty. So I'm taking her innocent side. If she's proven guilty, fine. But I'm taking innocent until proven guilty. So I'm showing innocence. That's what I want to do. And I think it's impossible, and it's just not first degree. I mean, the rental car with 955 miles don't add up to the excuse she used. Because she used the excuse of driving 900 miles to look for Gannon and going door to door. Okay, that doesn't add up. But then again, there's no evidence. I mean, there's no evidence pointing to her shooting, stabbing, or hitting Gannon with a blunt object. We still had the video of the truck, them getting in the truck, leaving her, coming back. I still can't find any confirmation from the sheriff's office stating that's exactly what happened. So did Gannon get outside the truck on the other side, or didn't Gannon get outside the truck on the other side? Because we still only have one video of Gannon that day getting into the truck. Right? We only have one perspective. We don't have the other side of the truck. Even though the police believe they got the person they need, it just seems too extreme to want to drive 400 plus miles, drop off a body to somebody else, and they drop it off in a ditch in Florida. Or it's too extreme to drive from Colorado to South Carolina with a body, then drive to Florida to drop it off. Let's continue this video. February 5th, Pasco County Sheriff's Office continued the Pacific. 1 second. They continue to search specific areas. So this is just a general update. So we haven't gotten to Letecia being arrested yet. So that's them focusing on a search in Lawson Ranch area. That's February 6th. So by February 6th, they expect Letecia to be leaving Florida, or the body to be dropped off by February 6th. So it would have been sitting out there for over 5-6 weeks. So if you check out Mommy Ramblings vlog video, everybody knows Mommy Ramblings. She does true crime. She does arts and crafts. So check out her recent video. I think it's about 20-25 minutes long, about Gannon Stauch, or about Letecia in particular. So So it makes sense. She gives you different perspectives on things. It makes sense. More general updates, because you know he wasn't found until March. So everything in February is just general updates. Letecia doing crime online interviews. Before she was arrested, crime online interview. Then a regular interview with Spencer, Mr. Spencer. Then just a couple updates on a search. Then biological mom Landon Hoyt did a couple interviews late February, mid-March. Then of course you had Letecia going back and forth with Landon's aunt in February, late February, and they was going back and forth. And Letecia was, people say Letecia was creating an alibi by posting things and talking about certain things. Which, you know, not much is confirmed by the sheriff's department. But the affidavit is still sealed. So we don't know what basis they had for arrest. What was their foundation to arrest her? We don't know that yet. You know, we don't know if it's video evidence of her doing something, or is it just her leaving with him and him not coming back? Is it just that one video they're basing their arrest off of? And are they basing tampering with a dead body off of her driving 955 miles? So maybe they don't believe she drove 955 miles in Colorado. Maybe they believe she took the body somewhere. That's where the tampering with evidence or moving a body charge come from. You know. But so far, no video evidence. I haven't heard a peep of them finding a gun or a knife. You know, the only possibility is the 2x4 being a blunt object, but she has the excuse that it fell off the truck, along with a sock. So, general updates, February 12th. We still got over a month before he's found and before she's arrested, 3 weeks. That's them searching. Mommy Ramblings brought up as a possibility they could have been shifting through the snow for bullets. When you saw them shifting through snow on certain videos using shifters. No word if they found any bullets. General updates. This is general updates. We had a lot of general updates in February. It wasn't not much breaking news in February. Okay, the crime lab. I believe the crime lab arrived to the house on February 4th. That was their first day, February 4th. Was the first day the crime lab came. So, I mean, it was a couple of days after Gannon was declared endangered. I believe he was declared endangered because he had to take a certain medication or for some certain health reason. So went from runaway to endangered. The crime lab came February 4th. #22nd update. The Stauch family does an interview with their daughter. 768 tips received. Now this is This is somebody I thought was Gannon. They just look alike. They just look alike. But this 12-year-old boy, he helped save his mom in a robbery. I'm gonna see if I can get the full details, but they gave him a medal for it. They gave him a medal for it. But if you go to their page, you'll see Arturo Hernandez. Okay. But he helped protect his home, and they gave him a medal for it, which was great. Strange man broke in the house in the middle of the night. Okay. February 27th. Again, February wasn't very eventful. Okay, they arrested Letecia March 2nd on those crimes of murder, child abuse, tampering with evidence. Remains found. So on March 18th, El Paso Sheriff Department was contacted by Florida. I forget the exact location. I forget how the name. Either way, they did an autopsy on the 18th. They found Gannon's body on the 17th. Either on March 17th they did an autopsy, or early March 18th they did an autopsy. And they tentatively identified it as Gannon. So I guess they identified it as Gannon. If his body been out in the Florida heat, in the Florida weather for over a month, for 6 weeks, I mean, it decayed a lot. Especially if he was stabbed, hit, and shot, it decayed a lot. So we're not sure what they used to identify him. It may have been clothes. It may have been the clothes, which is, pretty good. Tentatively identify his clothes, or I don't think it's the dental records or blood work, because they called the very next day, so it may have been the clothes. They'll update people on that end. Let's end that one there. So let's see who was in the car, because one guest said it was 2 aunts. So it was a young guy in the moving truck where people said the suitcase was, and potential other aunt was riding with him. So it was just one guy and one aunt. The young guy and one aunt, not one guy and 2 aunts. So right now, they have no surveillance video of Letecia Stauch in Florida. And they're asking people to call the tip line if they have any video of Letecia in Florida between the 3rd and the 5th. And the 3rd and the 5th is when the crime scene unit came to the house where Gannon went missing, allegedly. And that's when they took out carpet and whatever else they may have taken out. And the 3rd and the 5th is when Roderick Drayton showed Al Stauch the video of Gannon not coming home with Letecia. So again, we still only have that one video. We don't have any other perspectives, any other angles of Gannon coming home or not coming home. So that's that. So they're still looking for tips if you've seen Letecia in Florida. Don't know if they're going to find the murder weapons. They ain't said nothing about the murder weapons. Don't know if they're going to find that. Let me see where I want to take this video to. So we did that one. That's 2, 3. Let's do this one.
As the search for 11-year-old Gannon Stauch in Colorado Springs continues, today the search has shifted to a new surveillance video that's been released by a neighbor that could dispute his stepmother's story. I'm joined now by Denver 7's Tom Mustin. Tom, it was your excellent reporting that uncovered this video.
Well, it was a lot of good people reporting this. Actually, we went down there yesterday in a blinding snowstorm, really not knowing what we were going to get, and so we started knocking on doors and talking to neighbors, and we were actually...
One second.
We had our interview already done with one neighbor. We were heading back and we got a tip that one of the other neighbors had some surveillance videos. And so we thought, we're here, let's go. So we knocked on the door and we got the person who took the video's wife. And she said, well, my husband works at Home Depot a little ways away, but I think he'll talk to you. So we got on the phone with her, kind of FaceTimed, and he agreed to talk to us. So we drove 30 minutes away to Fountain, where he was working at the Home Depot. And he basically said, here's what I have, Tom. I've got video showing the stepmother going into the car with the little boy at the time that she said he'd left the house. The car drives off, and then I have video showing her coming back without the little boy. So that's what he said. And he said when he went and showed that video to going into the car with the little boy at the time that she said he'd left the house. The car drives off, and then I have video showing her coming back without the little boy. So that's what he said. And he said when he went and showed that video to the father, Gannon's father, that he broke down in tears and said, I knew it, I knew she was lying. So again, this is not incriminating anybody yet, because the sheriff's office is really not talking a lot, but what he said was pretty eye-opening, and it's really started a lot of doors opening today for a lot of different stations.
Raises a lot of questions about the timeline that the stepmother had said when he went missing. Right. Talking with that neighbor, what was his reaction? Like, why would...
And we still do not know if they believe she took his body that day and killed him, or took him and killed him that day. Like, where did she exactly take him then? Like, what's the excuse for him not coming back? Like, where did she take him? That's basically what I'm saying. So did she take him to an appointment, or did he actually come back? Like, did she take him to a doctor's appointment or something and he got missing? Which doesn't indicate, nothing indicates that. Nothing indicates that, because they already said he didn't go to an appointment or to a school. But where did they exactly go after that?
Was he even, searching through his surveillance video?
Well, he said there was just something about it. He said he was watching the coverage, the local Colorado Springs coverage. He said there was something about it that didn't add up, because he knows the little boy. He said the day that he disappeared, he saw Gannon playing with his sister outside. He said,
but I believe Letecia claims he did come back with her. I think she claims that, and she claims she took a selfie with him. But there's no evidence of that as of now, that she took a selfie. So maybe her defense team, there's no sign of her taking a deal. There's no sign of Letecia Stauch taking a deal or confessing or pleading not guilty. Her court date is the middle of April, I believe April 18th or 19th, but her court date is the middle of April. But there's no sign, even after Gannon's body has been found, of Letecia Stauch pleading guilty. So where exactly is she going to say she took Gannon that day? Or what evidence are they going to produce that Gannon did come home that day and did leave the house? And that's if she doesn't say or confess to something. Well, so far, no signs of her confessing. I know she's been on suicide watch, and her committing suicide would just end the whole... We wouldn't find out. But I don't think she's going to commit suicide. Hopefully not. I don't wish that upon nobody. Still innocent until proven guilty.
hi to him, and he said it just didn't add up, and he was home from work. He said, I have this surveillance video, I think it was pointing right there, let me look at it. So he went to the time that she said that he'd gone to the friend's house, rewound it, saw that get in a car, and then he rerouted back to when she came back, and he said in between we never saw the little boy anywhere. So he said, I don't know what this means, if anything, but I wanted to give it to police. And as soon as he gave the video to police on Sunday.
So he gave a video to the police that following Sunday after Gannon went missing. So 6 days after Gannon went missing, the police has a video of Letecia, Gannon leaving. They have that one video. We don't know what other videos they have. And then they had a video. The media releases the video to the masses on a Monday or Tuesday. So a few days after the sheriff's department gets the video with Letecia leaving with Gannon, maybe 48 hours later, the masses had a video.
They were there Monday all day processing evidence at the crime lab, and that's when we got there.
Wow.
So,
what was it like walking through that neighborhood doing those door knocks? It can often be an uncomfortable thing to interrupt someone's day, especially to talk about something that is, so disturbing.
And Jess, you've been there. You know what it's like. I mean, also the Colorado Springs station has been covering this, ad nauseum for for a week now, actually a week. And so we went down there, and I didn't know if people were going to yell at us. A couple of them just said, absolutely, do not want to talk to the media. Other ones were very receptive, and they said, look, I want to talk about what a great family this is and what a great little boy it is. So there were people that were willing to talk. You just had to, it's a numbers game, as you know, as a reporter. It's just the more doors you knock on, someone will talk to you. And so we got a lot of insight into this family, and there was some conflict, apparently with the stepmother and the mom too, and there's a lot of inside baseball with the family stuff, but we were just happy that the people.
So between Landon and Letecia, rumor or word is Landon family was wearing Letecia's stuff. I believe that was a post from Harley's account that they were wearing Letecia's stuff, and something about thousands of dollars of Letecia jewelry she wanted to get, or they were wearing. Either or, that's the drama he's asserting to, or he's pointing to. So Letecia saying she left because she couldn't get along with Landon and Landon's family, especially Landon's aunt. Landon's aunt and Letecia were on Facebook going back and forth, or Landon's aunt was going back and forth with Letecia. I mean, you go back to other creators' videos. 1 second. If you go back to other creators' videos, you'll hear or see the post Landon's aunt was saying about Letecia, or them going back and forth. So that's the commotion he's referring to.
Would chat with us, and we got lucky with Roderick Drayton. So
absolutely, but also great reporting, and I'm sure you're going to be knocking on a lot more doors tonight as you continue to follow this story. We want to thank you so much, Tom, and we're going to continue to follow this story and hope that Gannon is found safe.
Exactly.
Okay, which one is this? I think this is an older video. Let me see.
The search area grows for 11-year-old Gannon Stauch.
So this time they're doing this search. This is between the 3rd and the 5th, and they expect it's after the 3rd and the 5th. This search, they did a bunch of searches in February, and they suspect his body was in Florida by the 3rd and the 5th, somehow, some way. So you'll have to go back and look at when Letecia got that rental car in Colorado. I forget the date. When she drove that 955 miles, I forget what dates that was. So you have to go back and look. Again, people are speculating she drove 400. I'm adding the miles up. She drove at least 480 miles. 900, yeah, at least 475 miles to deliver Gannon's body to a second person, and that second person dumped his body in Florida. Because 955 divided by 2, one way is 1/2, one way back is the other half to Colorado.
So much area up here.
A massive park now the center of the investigation, as investigators hold out hope the little boy will be found alive. Yes, the search goes on for 11-year-old Gannon Stauch, the El Paso County boy, now missing for 18 days.
And the search now has moved up to southern Douglas County, where today crews were searching a massive property just trying to find any clues. Good evening, I'm Shannon Ogden.
And I'm Ann Trujillo. Thanks for watching.
And around this time, they had no clue Gannon's body was in Florida. So, like Mommy Ramblings Vlog says, on her channel, his body could have been delivered to Florida way after February. Way after February 3rd through the 5th, his body could have been delivered to that spot. Because if crew construction workers are always out there, his body would have been found earlier than the middle of March. That's the point Mommy Ramblings brought up, and that's a good point. His body would have been found in the middle of February if crew workers are always out there working. It's not like it snows in Florida. You can see a suitcase. Let's continue. And that goes in Letecia's defense. Like, you guys say she was out there the 3rd to the 5th. You have no evidence. But how's it not possible for them to find it earlier than the middle of March?
Been out searching all day in an area just north of Palmer Lake.
Denver 7's Lance Hernandez live at 5. And are they making any headway tonight, Lance?
Well, if they're making headway, they're not letting us know just yet. But we can tell you right now that they are crossing off an increasing number of acres up here in the Perry Park area, which is where they've been searching. And again, as you mentioned, that's just north of Palmer Lake.
Some crews working single file, others side by side, probing the snow with probe sticks and shovels, looking for any telltale sign of Gannon Stauch. The 11-year-old Colorado Springs boy disappeared January 27th from his family's home in Lorson Ranch. Search and rescue crews have been out multiple times in good and bad weather. We've seen crews wrap up their search in one area, then wait for transport to another. 2 men cleaning up dead wood in some Douglas County open space have noticed that too.
It's really insane the amount of cars that have been up and down, people in the bed of trucks traveling up to where they're searching for.
A sheriff deputy helping with traffic control.
The biggest thing is there's so much area up here. I mean, just right here, we're working up in Douglas County Parks and open space, and I don't even know how big this parcel is, but I mean, the area we've been working on is, 46 acres on its own.
The El Paso County Sheriff says on Twitter they've received 516 tips to date and have 88 search crew members searching today. Spokeswoman Jacqueline Kirby said search and rescue crews may work through the weekend.
It is our hope to find Gannon still alive, to bring him home safe to his family. That goal has never changed, and that is what we work for every day.
And as night falls in this area, crews have wrapped up their search at this location. We can tell you, though, that they may be back in this area again over the weekend. Reporting live in Perry Park, Lance Hernandez, Denver 7.
All right, Lance, thank you.
And of course, those searchers only came up with 2x4 with blood on it and a sock. And the excuse is it fell off the truck, which is logical because stuff can't fly off of a truck in the bed of the truck, especially if you don't strap it down correctly. And this is one of the press conferences. So let's go back to disinformation. Lately, they haven't been talking about disinformation in this case. They're actually asking for the public help, if you've seen Letecia in Florida between the 3rd and the 5th. So they'll calm down a little on talking about people spreading disinformation, or calm down on people making videos talking about the case. Like, as if we won't talk about the case to our friends and family anyway. It's going to be talked about anyway. So in the beginning of this case, they had a lot of focus on people on social media spreading disinformation. You have more updates about not spreading disinformation than you had about where is Gannon, or what's going on, or parent interviews. You have more coverage on what people were saying on the internet. You know, there was more focus on disinformation in the beginning. Let's get into this. But no, you cannot stop people from talking about the freaking news. It's the freaking news.
First things first, please just introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Sergeant Deborah Minot, DEP.
So we've all seen this. I'm gonna get into a couple minutes.
ORAHMYNATT.
We're on day 8 now. Since Gannon's disappearance, tell us where we're at now. We saw a lot of activity yesterday and last night at the home. What's the latest update?
So we are still continuing parallel investigations as well as search efforts for Gannon. Our number one goal is to find Gannon and to bring him home safely.
We're not seeing as many, people out on the streets, as you will, as you did over the weekend. They were everywhere.
Yes.
What's going on today?
That's true. So you might not be able to see the larger groups that we had out there, but just please understand.
I pretty much went over everything she's talking about.
I guess this case has brought.
This was earlier before Letecia was arrested.
Community members coming up with all of these hypotheses that,
Yes.
what they think. Is that taking away from your investigations?
Yes.
And this is them talking about people speculating and speaking their mind in free speech. So this is the script that freaking reporter was given to ask this lady on the stage.
So speculation is one thing, and theories and these kinds of ideas is one thing for someone to have. When they provide that to the sheriff's office, we take it seriously. So any.
You can't take theories seriously. Like that's just a false statement. Like when you provide speculation and theories you heard on the internet to the sheriff's department, we take it serious. So if I told you aliens, if somebody called in and said aliens kidnapped Gannon, you're gonna take it serious because they heard it on the internet. Like, no, they don't take speculation serious unless it's maybe if Harley had called into the police and said I saw Letecia take Gannon to Douglas County, then that would be speculation, but that would be a valid speculation they would take serious. Like, they already have evidence beforehand when you call in with your speculation you heard on the internet. Whatever speculation, whatever the case may be. Because most speculation, they don't have people names. Like, people say there's a second person, but we don't know the second person name they call in and say there's a second person. So if somebody call into the El Paso Sheriff's Office and say, I believe there's a second person because I heard it on the internet, but you don't have a name, they're not going to take that serious. Like, really. Or if you're not a person that's close to Letecia or to the family and you're calling in trying to give information, if you're not a person close to the family, they're not going to take your speculation serious that there's a second person, especially when you don't have a name. I mean, she make it sound like the sheriff's department is silly, like they believe anything they hear. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure they got good detectives in El Paso Sheriff Department. I'm pretty sure the detectives could discern speculation from, hey, let's take this lead. Like, they're not going to take a lead that they think is speculation. In a way, they're not going to take a lead that they think is speculation, especially if you don't have a name. I mean, they have more wits than that. That's my point. The sheriff's department and the detectives have more wits than to go around looking for aliens because somebody called in and said Gannon got abducted by aliens. Like, come on. They're smarter than that. Like, come on. Next.
information to any law enforcement agency, if you have a tip or a lead, we have to vet each of those. We have to ensure that it is factual and it takes time away from our detectives to.
You have to vet the tips, and it takes time away from the detectives. You know how you vet a tip? If somebody calls in and say, "Hey, an alien did it," you know good and well ain't no alien take Gannon. So right then and there, you know to throw that tip away. Like there's certain things people call in and say right then and there, you know to not even follow up on that bull job tip. Like that's not even a tip. That's just some person who heard something. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't add up to the evidence you as the detectives have so far. So just not logical excuses I'm getting from these people.
Try to figure out if this is a good lead or if it's not. And the time that they spend doing that absolutely will take them away from that investigation. So speculation and theories is not something we want you to report. We want you to report the factual information, things that you've seen, and it might not.
And also, if somebody outside of Colorado call, let's say somebody from Australia call El Paso department with a tip. They know good and well you in Australia don't have no valuable tip to give them. Somebody in Australia may call in and say, Kangaroo Jack took Gannon. That's just a metaphor of me trying to make the point, but you get what I'm saying between speculation and a good tip. You could discern speculation and a good tip from a credible source by the information you collect from the caller. Especially if the caller lives in Colorado and they know the person in question and they leave a tip.
Even be that Monday, it could have been the week prior. Anything that you might have seen with your own eyes is information that we would like for you to provide, not speculation and not theories.
So like this neighbor in his videos. So if we could also talk about.
And they didn't even have to bring up speculation and theories. People have been calling the police department about cases since the 1950s, 40s, and leaving tips and speculation and theories. Oh, now they want to talk about it being a problem because it's really not.
As what Lieutenant Hoffa said in the press conference, although we have to make social media part of the investigation and put it in the investigation, that no leads anymore are going to be followed up unless they are called into the tip line or emailed into the tip line.
Okay.
I think that's really important.
Okay.
So people really want to find Gannon.
All leads that are followed up upon are ones that called into the tip line. And immediately, if they get a dumb tip like aliens, it only takes a second for them to push that aside. I'm gonna give it this another minute, then I'm close this broadcast out.
Use those two methods. So we put out social media updates on Gannon Search, and we use social media for the sharing purposes. Comments sometimes are great, but please understand that tips that you provide will only be taken in two methods, and that's through our tip line, which is 719-520-6666, or through our email, which is tips@elpasoco.com. So if they message us, they're using social media to comment, we are not taking those. We are only taking it when law and order takes place. So information that is factual, if it is displayed to where we're seeking.
I just fast forward and they're still talking about factual information. I just fast forward about 3 minutes and she's still talking about speculation on the internet. I'm like, lady, let's fast forward some more.
And a lot, any bit of info that might be given may portray the wrong judgment, and we don't want to do that as the Sheriff's Office.
Do you still consider a missing persons investigation, or has it become criminal?
It is missing persons, endangered, because of those facts. That might just lead to where he might be, coming from an agency. There's so many of us that are parents here, and it doesn't matter what piece that they have of this pie, they are thinking of Gannon and they want to bring him home safely.
Can you
just kind of reiterate for some of the people, the timeline, you know, I think we've all heard a little bit of a different thing. He was at school, he wasn't at school, he was on a hike. Can you go into any of that?
We can't, unfortunately, I can't talk about those specifics.
Are you still...
And they can't go into the timeline. Again, they haven't confirmed the timeline. Even though they arrested Letecia, they still haven't confirmed the timeline. Not that I've read of. So if you have a credible source from a news organization on mainstream that gives a statement from El Paso Sheriff's Office that verifies the timeline, that if they verify he didn't come home, I would love to see that post. I have not seen a single post that states El Paso Sheriff's Office believes Gannon didn't come home. I've only seen posts that says only trust what El Paso Sheriff's Office saying. And El Paso Sheriff's Office never said anything about Gannon not coming home that day. That video is from Roger Drayton. Roger Drayton and the news organizations who pushed it out have said Gannon didn't come home that day. So maybe I missed the press conference where El Paso said or confirmed they believe Gannon didn't come home that day on the video. But I have not seen any confirmation from El Paso. Just like this lady stated, I believe this was mid-February, just like she just stated that they can't confirm the timeline of Gannon coming home. They can't confirm if Letecia took him here or there, or they wouldn't confirm it. So I'm still not sure if they haven't confirmed it.
Saying that he went missing between 3 and 4 o'clock.
That was the only information relayed to us, and therefore the first day that the reporting party called in, that was indicated to us. That was the bit of information we had to work with. There were some other factors and information obtained during that call that we type-coded him as a runaway because of information we received.
That reporting...
When was he reported?
That was the evening of Monday, the 27th, which was approximately 6:55 p.m.
And that was reported by the stepmother, is that correct?
Yes.
So that original timeline that was just asked about is based upon the initial call from the stepmother?
Yes.
Okay. If this video from the neighbor would have been released on Monday...
So it's not based upon them verifying her statement. They still haven't verified that. Even though they arrested her, they still haven't said she didn't take him to school or take him there or take him here. Even though we and you can come to the conclusion she didn't take him to school or take him to an appointment, by the video evidence of him not coming back with her, then again, we only had that one video, that one angle. You know, we still don't know if he actually did or didn't come back. Even though his body's been found in Florida, once again, did he come back to that house and did he leave to a friend's house? And did some predator pick him up and drive him across country and then kill him or kill him beforehand? Because they're claiming the stepmom stabbed, used a blunt object and shot Gannon. That's to the extreme. That's very extreme. I mean, what emotions, what anger did she have against an 11-year-old boy to shoot him, stab him, hit him with a 2x4 or hit him with anything? That's a blunt object. What? That sounds like a crime of passion. And this can't be a crime of passion, because he's 11 years old, and that's her stepson. There's one report I read, I believe it was Roger Drayton, saying he has never noticed Gannon being hurt. I'm paraphrasing the report, but in the recent videos, he has always noticed Gannon being happy. He has always noticed Gannon playing with his friends, never noticed anything out of place. So that testimony, if he's never seen Gannon hurt on video or never noticed anything strange about Gannon, and why would something now be strange about Gannon? You know, why would people claim she abused him if people are on record saying they have never noticed Gannon sad or upset? I mean, there's no reports of seeing any marks on Gannon. You know, there's no report of abuse. You know, you got a credible source saying he has never seen Gannon act strange. But just that day, he never came home with Letecia. And just that day, we can't get clarification if she took him somewhere, like the doctor or school. Even though the narrative, outside of everything, even though the narrative is she killed him, but it's still no verification. There's still no real evidence. There's still no video evidence, still no real evidence. Things got even more strange when they found his body 1,400 miles away. And they have no evidence of her being in Florida. They have no video of anybody dumping Gannon's body in Florida. I mean, they haven't told us what the link between her rental car or 955 miles is. So, a couple more seconds of this, and I'm going to close this out.
Would you still consider a runaway? Would it have been in the public's eye?
I'm not sure. Not sure.
Are you guys, you're still assuming, are you assuming he's dead or alive?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Okay, I'm not going to comment. Okay. Of course, he came up there.
We have the best hope
away.
that he is alive, and we're going to find him and bring him home. And that is, again, each of the people that are involved in this investigation all have that same hope.
Have you spoken to the stepmother since that piece of video came to light yesterday?
I can't comment on that.
So we don't know if they may have had a conversation with Letecia Stauch about that video. So the video came out February 3rd or 4th, February 3rd, and they may have had a conversation with her about it, even though they not commenting. So we don't know what she said. We don't have the affidavit. We don't have any interrogation tapes. There should be interrogation tapes because Letecia said she was denied a lawyer. So if she was denied a lawyer, that would be on the interrogation tapes. So we don't have access to that.
And just one last question. The neighbor that we spoke to said that when detectives originally came to his house, they looked at those hours around 3 and 4, and then it wasn't until later that he decided to look back and see that video. So are you guys looking at a wider scope now that you know?
I won't be able to comment on that either.
Not comment, I know. You can't comment. Y'all can't comment on nothing. Okay, whatever. Y'all can comment on people making speculation, but you can't clear anything up. Even though we're in March and she's been arrested, a lot of stuff y'all still haven't cleared up. Or y'all arrested her, but y'all haven't cleared anything up. You haven't released any evidence showing why y'all arrested her. No interrogation tapes. No signs of any weapons. No signs of her being in Florida. Just that one video of him getting in the car with her and not coming back. And even though we don't have another angle to see if he did come back. But y'all okay with talking about people speculating. Okay. But y'all won't clear anything up to calm down the speculation. And I'm talking in past tense because I was in past tense. And they still ain't cleared anything up. Let's finish this out, people. We're pretty much seeing all of that. I want to go back to this video before I clear this out. Before I close this broadcast.
Was reported missing. Now we'll hear from her again. 11 News reporter Spencer Wilson spoke exclusively.
So this is when Spencer Wilson said he had turned off the camera, and that's when Letecia said she wanted to redo the interview. But even though he said he turned off the camera, they didn't turn off the camera. They still had a camera rolling when she ended the interview, and when she said she wanted to add more on. They still had a camera rolling. He never turned off the camera.
With Letecia Stauch a few weeks ago in the only on-camera interview she has done.
There's been a lot of suspicion focused on her from the very start. That's how I was able to speak with her. She wanted to tell her side of the story, and she did.
I am Letecia Stauch, which is Gannon's stepmother.
At the time, the sheriff's office said she was not cooperating with their investigation. She was also the last to see him, and online speculation was running wild.
I'm just ready for Gannon to come home. Most importantly for him to...
She did that interview the 30th. Online speculation running wild. Sheriff's Department all of February El Paso talked about online speculation, misinformation. They even had to do a press conference to clear up that they couldn't silence people's free speech. I had to find that press conference. It was very short. And they sent the female representative to clear it up, to clear up late February that they could not silence people's free speech on the internet. And that's why I'm paraphrasing in that whole interview. It was only like 10 minutes.
See his family. But second, I am going to be so ecstatic when I'm able to say to people that I hope they have a really sincere apology for all these theories that have came out online, for all the things that...
She was talking about theories way before all the theories came out. I mean, I'm counting 30 videos by multiple creators just about Letecia Stauch. So I'm looking at maybe one creator has 25, one creator has 30 videos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I may be at 18 videos about Letecia, but this is all after the fact. The very first upload about Letecia on YouTube was her interview, and that was uploaded by Aaron and Wonderland, was this interview. I don't know what Facebook was saying about her on February 28th. Because January 28th is when first reports that Gannon came out missing. So I don't know if Facebook was on her page talking junk to her on February 28th, or on February 29th, or January 30th, 29th, or January 28th. I keep saying February. But YouTube didn't get popping until after January 31st. People didn't start making videos about her until after January 31st. She did this video right on that day or day before that. So
he said that I have done.
You connect the dots. She talks about speculation, and the sheriff's department talks about speculation being a hindrance. And she talked about it first.
She was worried about her safety.
The way someone thinks about me, I don't have a problem with that. My main thing is I would never want someone to think that I would hurt Gannon or any of the children in our home, because that's just not the case.
So you see that white van on the right side? You can see the edge of the van. This is the day they believe Gannon's body was in that van, in a suitcase. That van was driven by a young man, and another aunt was on the passenger side. So it's been 3 days. You think they would have smelled a dead body. So I can't say she took a body across state lines for 1,000 miles to South Carolina. You know, if they didn't smell it, and the people in that van are not on trial, they aren't arrested, I don't believe they are on the witness list, because nobody has connected the driver of that van to the witness list.
Here's what she said to me the first time I asked her if she had a message for Gannon.
Gannon, when you get here, you'll be able to truly tell what happened. And then I really hope I get a sincere apology from everyone who has made all those things, especially from my husband.
Then I stopped the camera.
I wanted to add one more thing.
She asked to say one more thing.
So I wanted to add one thing. He didn't really stop the camera. Even though there's a cut right there, you think the camera would have started after she said, I wanted to add one thing. Okay, let's say she ended the interview on that note about getting the apology. Cameras go off. Then she says, well, I want to add something else. Cameras are still off. When the cameras come on, she should be ready to say her line. You know, you shouldn't have video of her saying, I wanted to add something else. But then again, that's just my observation of this interview. Not anything big, because again, she's arrested. So, you know, I still believe she's innocent until proven guilty.
So I turned the camera back on and asked her the same question once again. Do you have a message for Gannon?
And the camera looked like it's been on once again. Come on, Mr. Spencer.
By then, she had started crying.
And Gannon, I can't wait till you can come home and let everyone know that you're okay. We love you.
We're expecting she will be brought to Colorado to face murder.
And that's that. And that was the waterworks he was talking about in his post. Like the sobbing, the tears, the waterworks, second try, sobbing, tears, waterworks. Didn't really seem like he turned the camera off in the first place. I'm going to get ready to end this broadcast out. To summarize, I believe Letecia Stauch is innocent. There's no second suspect on camera. If this suspect drove, if she handed the body off 400 miles into a 955-mile trip, because you need 400 miles to get to the drop-off point, 400 miles to go back to Colorado, you know, or whatsoever. There's too many cameras along the way to not see some sort of interaction between Letecia and the second suspect. The person driving the van is described as a young man. He's described as a young man, so he's not on the witness list as far as I can tell. They are asking for tips if you've seen Letecia between the 3rd and 5th. So far they have no billboard. They don't have no billboard video. People saying about this billboard video. Because allegedly billboards have cameras on them now that do facial recognition. Go figure. So nothing so far to point her towards being the #1 suspect or being guilty. Let's finish this out. I've been talking way too long. I need that water. Let's finish this out. If you guys come across some video that shows Letecia committing a crime, let me know. If you find a second suspect, let me know. You know, whatever. I'll find out anyway. I'll be checking on everybody's videos anyway. The comments are my favorite parts of everybody's videos, you know. Let's finish this out. It's been Awkward Occurrence. We're Awkward Entertainment. And I will see you in the next video.
Did you order the code red?
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth! Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. Who's gonna do it? You, Lieutenant Weinberg? I have a greater responsibility than you could possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago and you curse the Marines. You have that luxury. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know. That Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives. And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives. You don't want to prove this to the places you talk about parties. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. We use words like honor, code, loyalty. We use these words as the backbone of a life spent defending something. You use them as a punchline. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide, and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I would rather you just said thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you pick up a weapon and stand opposed. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to. Did you order the code red? I did the job. Did you order the code red? You're goddamn right I did!
Mr. Anthony, do you know a woman by the name of Crystal Holloway?